Hello, I'm Chuck DeVetter. I'm going to tell you about my trip to Chicago. The Lord had me go to Chicago to a conference at one point in time, and I really didn't know why I was going. But it happened to be actually a Jesus Culture conference, which there were lots of young people there, and it was really cool. But I just didn't know why I was going to this conference. And it was a wonderful trip on the way up, and I got there, and as I was in the conference, I was outside the conference, and there was this man that really seemed like he was really violent looking and really scary. And the Lord asked me to go minister to him. And so I went ahead and ministered to him. I brought him a couple hats or whatever, or a hat, I guess, and gave it to him and just talked to him a bit, and it was okay. And so what ended up happening is I gave him one of my ministry cards, and I went back to the conference. So what ended up happening is from there is that later that evening he called me and he asked me to come over and talk to him. And so I felt that the Lord was in this, and so I went ahead and went over, and he had told me that he asked me if I would bring him to his mother's house, okay? And so I went and we began to drive to his mother's house, and when we drove to his mother's house, he asked me just right away, we drove by this gas station type thing, and he asked me to stop so he could get some cigarettes, and I may have even paid for the cigarettes. I don't remember entirely, but so we stopped and he bought some cigarettes, and as we did that, we began to drive to his mom's place. And when we got out there, I was able to minister a little bit, and we prayed a little bit, and at the same time he went in and grabbed some beers out of the refrigerator, and he was drinking some beer, and when we left, he went ahead and grabbed, I don't know, 6 or 8 beers that were capped, and he brought them into my car. Well, so they're in my car, and I'm thinking, geez, do I want this to happen? But I didn't say anything, and so now all of a sudden we're driving down towards his house, and all of a sudden I'm driving, and he lit up a joint right in my car, and I'm thinking, what the heck is going on here? And so I immediately told him he needed to put it down. And there was a bit of a verbal struggle in that, but he did go ahead and put he went ahead and put it out. And so I'm driving along, and right about the time that we came to the place, and I'm asking the Lord, God, I just don't understand what this is about. I want him out of my car. I just don't want, I just don't understand what's going on here. And I just had all kinds of things in my flesh going on, and so I really wasn't. I really was struggling quite a bit. And so when we got about to the place where the cigarettes were purchased on the way out, the Lord told me something, and what he told me really had great impact on my life from then until now. And what he asked me is, he said, Chuck, there are times when you're talking to me that you're trying to manipulate my spirit with your flesh, where you're saying things to me that are just really more manipulative, and you're not following me in my lead, in my spirit lead, the lead of my Holy Spirit. And I said, and I agreed with that, because there were times that had happened. And he said, what happened? He asked me the question, what happened when that goes on? And I told him, I said, well, it's like I'm in the flesh. I don't feel led by your spirit. And he said, that's true, because what happens is that I'm always the leader. My spirit is always the leader. It's my spirit that leads your spirit. You're to walk in the Spirit. And so what happens is, when you go ahead and you let someone else's flesh lead you, like this man who was following his flesh and being led by his flesh, that he wanted to get some beers, or he wanted to buy cigarettes or whatever. When you let their flesh lead you, It's the same thing as letting is walking in the flesh. And so what he taught me that day is he taught me that what I need to do is I need to walk in the Spirit all the time. And even if someone else's flesh is trying to lead me, I need to turn away from that and walk in the Spirit constantly, no matter what their reactions are, or what my reason and my logic is to say, oh, this would be nice to do, or that would be nice to do. I need to just walk in the Spirit. I need to hear from the Lord. I need to have Him order my steps. Thank you.